Are you looking to build a fun project that will amaze your family and friends? This is the one for you. So today we're looking at this little board by Zero Space. It's an ESP32 based board that has this 5x5 grid of WS2812 chips on it, which is these beautiful, amazing lights. We can change the color, we can change what they do. And what we're going to do today is we're going to have it so we can use our mobile phones to type in the message that we're looking at. So that's what we're looking at today. We're looking mostly at the programming, but we will show you a little bit about how cool this device is. Hi, I'm Christine, and my channel is all about fun and creative wearable projects. I have been teaching for a long time, and I've also written a book about wearable technology. And the book is about getting people up and running with creating soft circuits and wearables. Today, we are going to be using this little board, which I will later turn it into a little wearable project. This is a little clue about what I'm looking to do with it. And today we're looking at the programming because that is the truly impressive thing. We're going to be using our mobile phones to change the message. So part of the application that we wrote in PlatformIO to upload to the ESP32 board is this website interface. You can change any of the aspects about it. I did create it with this pink color just because I felt like it. And what happens is it connects the board with our mobile phone, and then we can enter in the string of information that we want it to display, and we can even change the colors of the pixels that are showing. So currently I've just got it rotating saying CMOZ, which is my little kind of web thing that I do. You can type in anything and that's part of the program. So it is written in, well, using PlatformIO, and you can still download the code and put it in Arduino. So what I'm going to do now is just type a message in to this interface. So I'll just type hello world. We can also change the color using these little sliders. So I might make mine a slightly different, let's make it maybe a little bit more purpley for us. So we've altered the colors and the information. And then when we hit send, this will update real time to our little board here. So we're going to say send anyway, because it asks a little confirmation. And then it changes it, and you can see it's now typing out hello world in this sort of pinky color. So that is the project. This is going to be super fun. We're going to just go and have a little look at the code and how this is possible. We're just going to go through it, not quite line by line, but it's really good that we understand what the code is doing so that you can go into the code and edit it and alter it to suit exactly what you want this little fabulous device to do. We do have a few libraries that we'd like installed. When we're using PlatformIO, we do include the Arduino library. You don't have to do that if you're using the Arduino IDE. But it makes no difference if it is added. We're also using the Wi-Fi library. The web server library is how we're going to access the network information for our board and our project. And then we're using the Adafruit NeoPixel library because this chip for this ESP32 board does use a C3, and some of the other libraries are not as compatible with the C3 chip. I'm using the NeoPixel one, and that means there's not going to be any problems when we are uploading to our board, because we don't like problems. Okay, so there's also a file I've created called font 5x5. We have a look at it here, and this consists of the alphabet and then a few other characters. You can go in here and change how these characters look. We're just using zeros and ones. So if you know your binary, 1 is on, 0 is off. So in this matrix here, we can see online, we've got this 5x5, which represents the 5x5 grid on our little board here, which is perfect. So all we're doing by switching these to be a 1 or a 0, we are just saying that that is where we want the light to be on or off. So if we look through these characters, we have A, B, C, D, all the way through to Z. You can change them if you want to do lowercase letters or if you want to make them look slightly different. That is up to you. I've also done a character for space, and then I've done the full stop, exclamation mark, and this little dash. Here it says return 37, return 38, for example. And what that is doing is it is returning that number in our array. So we have this huge array of all our numbers. So here we can say this here represents array. This is the 36th position in our array. And you can see here we have 1, 2, 3 different areas. So we have an array which is got this scope to grow and have more information. And within those, we create a 5 by 5 grid. So if you add something to it, you would paste it here. Make sure you have this comma that is needed, and always make sure you've got this closing brace as well. So then in here, you would just choose a 1 or a 0 if you want it to be lit. You might want space is that everything is off. You might also want to play around and have everything is on. You can do that by creating the solid. This would be index 40. So then we would reference it by calling position 40, essentially. Or yeah, position's an okay word, but this is within our array. So we might go through and turn all of these to solid, and this might be solid color. Okay, so you would go through and you would edit that. So this is something that you can do through the program. And then if you want to use that solid color, you can just choose a character. For the solid character, if you wanted to use it, you would then also add one of these if statements. And remember, the return is what it is kind of serving up to our board. The return will be 40 because, as we said, it's in position 40. And then you need to decide what symbol or what that person would type in order to activate that solid wall of color. You'll have to choose something that's not currently used. It might be something like the equal symbol isn't currently used, and so on. I won't do that now because that code is something for you to play around with. So if we have a look again back into our main, you will need to put in your Wi-Fi credentials. Now, if this is something that I will be taking out of the house, then I would put in Wi-Fi credentials, for example, maybe to my phone. So my phone I might create a network, and then I'll turn on my network sharing, so that way this would be able to access it. Because you're going to need to use a network that the board can connect to, and the people wanting to access the web page can connect to as well. So if you're using this at home or somewhere where you're out, you'll need to have access to the Wi-Fi network name and password, and so will anyone accessing it through the mobile phone. The string message will be the first default message that will appear on the little scroll once it has given out the IP address. So what it does when it starts up is it's looking for that Wi-Fi name and password. It will scroll twice the numbers to type into your browser on your phone, on your computer, on your iPad, whatever you're using. So it will scroll through each of the number that you need to access the device. Type in those numbers into your browser on your phone, and then you'll be able to connect to it for that fun effect that we saw. So that's what the network information is for. And that is the first string message that will come through to this little cutie. And then the string message that I have programmed is just going to say CMOS. You can type in anything that you want here. It doesn't have to say CMOS. Be cool if it did, but it doesn't have to. I've then also selected a default color. I love this sort of tealy color. I don't know why. I love it so much. You can change your default color as well, and that color goes here. So you can just change those values. So this is the R, the G, and the B, the red, the green, and the blue. And max values for each would be 255. So if we did just 255 in the first one, what color is it going to be? Full red. So hopefully you said full red. Okay, so that is the color. So here we've got 128 of green and 128 of blue. So have a play around with those. Here we're actually now displaying the letter within our little matrix area. We've got our display message showing. And now when we get to the HTML form here, this is the look and how that web page is served up. So here we can see we've got a background color. You can choose any background color that you would like. We've got certain text alignments. We've chosen a certain text style, a font style, the padding of it, and so on. So we've got heading colors and everything here. So this is our little style portion of it. We've edited the styles to have a certain look to it. You can edit all these styles to change the appearance of that web page that they click onto. And then the body, so this is the actual displayed information on the web page that the person will click through when they access the information on their mobile phone. So this is how it will look for the person, but you can change these details. You can change what it says, for example, you can change the spacing. So all of this can be edited and changed in this area. We've got our form that we are sending. So that form is essentially going to be this text area where someone will type in what they want. And then we've also got our information where people are choosing the sliders, which will alter the color for them. We then have some information where things are getting handled. We have our handle set. So once that information has been sent and it's communicated with our little guy here, what you can do is edit the next page, which is the confirmation page. I've kept mine really simple. It will just have a button to return. We then have a little splash screen, we're calling it, which is just the little white lights do a little flicker. You don't have to have that. I just thought it created a little point of interest, and you can have that happen at any point. So you might want the splash screen to show at the beginning. And then we have the display IP, which was where it was actually displaying those numbers twice around for us. And then you will recognize, like with all our sketches, we've got our setup and we have our loop, which is that repetitive part of the code that is happening. Now you'll notice when we do typically write an Arduino sketch in the Arduino IDE, the setup and loop are the first things you kind of come across. But here we've kind of front loaded, we've kind of created this declaring what the functions are that we're using. You don't have to put all the functions up front if you don't want to, but if you don't, you then do need to include some little declarations before your code kind of starts. And all that would involve is you would have so display letter would be the first one, display message, and so on. So that means that because we've sort of told the program that these things are coming up, you don't have to completely load all of these things. You can add them after your loop. So that essentially is our code. It's a really good piece of code to look at if you are learning about arrays, because we've got this amazing array going on. A great way of us understanding binary with our on-off. And I really love this chunk of code for learning those concepts. So hopefully, if you are learning arrays, this little bit of tinkering will help you get on with your studies, or if you're a maker or someone new to it. Hopefully this will all make a little more sense now that we can physically see our array manifesting itself as our 5x5 matrix. Please like and subscribe if you want more fun and creative videos for making your wearable technology. This here will be designed a little bit later into a wearable item, so do have a look out for that as well. Today was very important just to go through the code so we understand what's going on, so that way when we do embed it in our wearable system, we'll already know what we're doing. Thanks for watching.